My heart is pounding after this. Stephon Castle, after some brutal turnovers, they put the Spurs on top. Wemby had an incredible dunk in overtime, but it was a game that should not have been as close as it was. But you know who stood out amongst the rest, Keenan? Once again, it's Victor Wembanyama putting on an absolute clinic despite the referees being against him. He goes out there, puts up 29-11 with 9 blocks, maybe none more spectacular than that one, leading directly into this insane alley-oop. So much went wrong for the Spurs, and they still came out with a huge win. What a gutsy team win this was, Keenan. We're here live talking about it. How are you feeling after the second game of the season? Wemby fouling out, Castle having his struggles, Harper having his struggles, but the Spurs still getting the win. I think at the end of the day, that's one of the big things we can all be proud of here.
Absolutely. This is a loaded Western Conference, and we're seeing that already. Teams are going to be competing at the highest level. The Rockets have looked good. Thunder, the Warriors, the Nuggets, all teams have looked like viable playoff contenders. So winning these games is all that matters. But the other thing that I thought too, and I know we talked about this a little bit before, this is the first time all season right now. Obviously, it's been 2 games that we really missed De'Aaron Fox late in game down the stretch. When you were in situations where Wemby wasn't in the game, the Spurs struggled to generate quality offense, and that is where De'Aaron Fox, clutch player of the year in the first inaugural season that they had, that would come into play there. So, but I do love the fact that the Spurs did get the W.
Yeah, I absolutely do too, but we're seeing a lot of chats here. By the way, shout out to channel members Spurs and first one in here tonight, one of the only channel members. Thank you so much for being here, Spurs. And again, priority responses to all channel members. Plus, we get all these emojis. Just want to shout out, if you guys want to send your Spurs Digest emojis like Pop, like the Alien, like Chef Brian Wright, like Tim Duncan, you got to be a channel member for it. I want to see those if you are a channel member. We got a lot of people saying, go Spurs, go. Let's talk about our free throws. Spurs would have lost this in past years. There's a lot of stuff I want to get to, but Jellybean Josh with that great point, Keenan. This feels like one of those games that the San Antonio Spurs would have lost in past years. But you know what? A 14-0 run with Wemby off of the court. Where is it here? Here it is here. Let's actually go back to this view. Spurs on a 14-0 run in the last 253 without Wemby on the floor. Follow us on X, by the way. We're live tweeting a lot of what was going on in this game. This is something that probably wouldn't have happened last year. And again, this is something that's happening without De'Aaron Fox. You know who spurred this? It was Dylan Harper. Now, Dylan Harper, again, didn't have his best game by any means. 3 for 12 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. But he, for like those few minutes there, took over this game. And in stretches, Castle took over. In stretches, Harper took over. Eventually, that consistency is going to be there, especially when Wemby can play more than 32 minutes, when he's not in the foul trouble he was tonight. But I want to just shout out, like, the rookies, the gutsy guy here, Dylan Harper, for doing what he did. Even though the numbers are not going to pop off the stat page, it was really him who was the catalyst to this comeback for the San Antonio Spurs.
He really was, and that showed a lot of the late game prowess, the calmness that he has in these moments. I love to see that from Dylan Harper, and I understand the Pelicans didn't have the greatest of seasons last year, but with a healthy Zion Williams, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, Sadiq Bey, Jordan Poole, and Derek Queen and Jeremiah Fears both looked good as rookies in this game. Like, they have a quality roster. This isn't a bad win by any means, and we didn't have Wemby in overtime. We just didn't have the star of stars in overtime. So I loved what we saw. I know.
Yeah.
I know. I loved what we saw from the Spurs young core down the stretch, and I thought Luke Kornet was also another presence that was very pivotal down the stretch. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists for him on the game.
Yeah, Luke Kornet, to be honest, the French vanilla combo, Keenan, we only saw it for, 3 or 4 minutes in the game against the Dallas Mavericks. In this game here versus the Pelicans, French vanilla was everywhere, and I loved every second of it. They were playing a lot together. We started overtime with those guys out there together, which is a bold decision, but when New Orleans is running a big man rotation of Derek Queen and Zion Williamson, you almost want to take advantage of that. Like, not that those guys are small. I mean, Williamson and Queen are both very strong guys, but neither are that tall. They can't really match that height of Kornet and Wemby, and Kornet getting those offensive rebounds was such an amazing piece for this team as well throughout this whole game. Really big shout out to Luke Kornet. Again, after the first quarter, I think, where is it? I have a lot of stuff here. There it is. Luke Kornet leads the Spurs in scoring after the first quarter, Keenan. He had 8 points and he had 5 boards to go along with it. I still think that was such an incredible sign. I'm actually going to make this a little nicer so you guys can see this a little bit better. But Luke Kornet, French Vanilla, was so cool, and we actually saw this. They were getting real minutes together in the first half and in the second half, and I think it's something we'll see a lot more of because the Spurs just dominated the glass when they were out there, and I just think they'll have to get a bit more used to playing with each other, like finding what passes work when to make these entry passes for our guards. But overall, I really think these guys have some serious potential.
Yes, they do. This whole team has serious potential. I love French Vanilla, I'm not gonna lie. One of like probably the top 5
Oh yeah.
duo names as of what's going on right now. It's not the Splash Brothers perfect, but French Vanilla is great. And then you said a latte, and like right after it said,
Oh
it
yeah.
was like it
Yeah,
was
that's
funny.
perfect, right? I did that on purpose, yeah.
He did that on
Totally.
purpose. Truly, their connection is going to grow. We also have to remember this team does not have a lot of minutes together. We've obviously seen a lot of these pieces, but we haven't seen them in conjunction working together. This is going to be a work in progress. Early on in the season, we see game 1 and we all lose our minds because Wemby looks like he's already taken the next step. Plus, you have Castle 22, 7, and 6 in that game, or it feels like he's taken the next step. But this is going to take some time. And if we can have this take some time, work on it, plus get wins in the process, it's going to be all the more better when we start getting going to the stretch runs of this season.
And you know what? I love what you said there because the thing is, this game was ugly. Castle with 9 turnovers, Harper 3 for 12 from the field, Wemby fouling out, and we still won, right? These kind of trials and tribulations, Sean Elliott put it very well during the game. He said, you know what? Like after these turnovers, Sean just kept that positive attitude. He's like, you know what? These guys need to learn how to play in these situations, these tense situations for these young guys, for a team that wants to make the playoffs this year. These are the games that you can't let slip through your fingers. Even though we still almost did. I don't think that was a foul on Jordan Poole at the end when he knocked it out of Harrison Barnes' hand. We got a bit lucky in this one, but still, going through these trials and tribulations as a team is what's going to make you better. And if you want the Spurs to win more games like this, leave a like on the stream. We got over 100 people in here. I know you guys are just as excited for this win. If you want more Spurs wins, stats have shown that if you like Spurs Digest content, the Spurs get more wins. I'm just the messenger. I'm just saying it's true. It's all right. But I got to go back into the chat here. We got to go to the channel member first, Keenan. Of course, Spurs and Gosse go way to close it out. Kornet was a good life jacket with Wemby fouling out. And I think life jacket is maybe one of my favorite ways to put that because, yeah, we'll move on to some other guys like Castle and even Vassell, especially in a bit. But I want to just say that signing of Luke Kornet is looking so much better by the day. The French Vanilla working together. Luke Kornet with, again, leading that first quarter. To not be worried about the center rotation when Wemby is out of the game, to not have to rely on someone like Sochan to play it or Mamukelashvili for extended periods of time is such a breath of fresh air and a relief knowing that he's there, knowing that even Kelly Olynyk will be there soon, knowing that if all hell breaks loose, we still have a guy like Biyombo. That to me is one of the biggest things and best things we could have done for this team, and it was a genius move by Brian Wright.
100%. And in game 1, only played 16 minutes, had 2 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. So he wasn't really impactful in game 1 in the way that he was in game 2. The thing with Luke Kornet is he understands rotations, he understands minutes. He's going to be okay if he only gets 12 or 14 minutes in this game, especially when Jeremy Sochan comes back too, and we need to go with a smaller look. But in moments like this, when you need that size and he needs to play 30 plus minutes, he can do that. Having players who are versatile and able to star in their role to the level that Luke Kornet is able to, going to be a massive, big thing for the San Antonio Spurs moving forward.
Yeah, great chat there, Spurs. And I want to read some of these other chats too, because we got a lot of people in the chat. We got that going. You see the number 1, number 2, those crowns. Those are the people who are most active in the chat. So if you want to get that number 1, get us to notice you. Look, we're going to try and read a lot of these. But there's a lot of people here in chat, Keenan, talking about free throws. And I do think that's worth bringing up. I was saying to you, we were watching the end of the game together. I was like, there's no one I trust more now than Devin Vassell with the ball in his hands. Thankfully, Harrison Barnes made both. But my goodness, I mean, Barnes did go 2 for 2 at the end. Wemby 3 for 4, fine. Castle 3 for 6 with those 2 missed ones late. Luke Kornet 2 for 4. Keldon Johnson 0 for 2. These things add up. 65% from the line is not going to get it done. Mind you, at 1.2, we were also 8 for 33 from 3. We finished 13 for 43 after some nice clutch ones from Devin Vassell and Stephon Castle and even Julian Champagny, who hit his only 3 of the game in overtime. But I think the shooting and free throws can go together, right? Because these two things here, it kind of worked in tandem in the sense that it brought us down a bit, right? And they're kind of the same thing, right? Your 3-point stroke's not going, your free throw thing's not going, you're not feeling your shooting touch, and that can drag the Spurs down. But again, to get a win despite that's incredible. But I don't think it's going to fly against some better teams. No offense to the Pelicans, but this game shouldn't have been as close as it was. Harper hit a clutch one, McLaughlin hit one early. The rest of the guys couldn't really get it going. Even Vassell, like 6 for 14 is good, but it took him a while to get going. Champagny was clutch. We hit him when they mattered, but that's one thing I think we need to be more consistent on. And I hate saying that because I was saying so much before the season how this was not going to be much of a problem. We're in a 2-game sample size, so I don't want to go too overboard yet. But I will say I haven't been super encouraged after these first couple games.
I haven't either, because Champagny throughout the entire preseason was on a heater, and I thought that was going to translate into the regular season because he was going to be getting similar looks to the ones that he did get in preseason. Obviously, he hit the big one in the left corner, but I thought that he was going to be a higher percentage shooter from the 3-point line. And in the Mavericks game, it gets lost in the shuffle because of how great we played as a team. We were only 60% from the free throw line in that game. We were 40% from 3, but we're only 8 of 20. So we only made 8. We didn't need it. If we're going to dominate the paint at what the point that we're gonna have to be better from the free throw line, because 60%, 65%, especially with the way that we're attacking the basket, is not going to get it done against the Clippers, against the Warriors, against the Rockets, Thunder, so on, with all these other good teams that we're going to be playing here moving forward.
No, but again, it's something that I think can come because we were confident shooting them, right? Like it's, especially Vassell, like he didn't start great. His overall shooting numbers are not amazing, but like at the end of the day, what was 8 for 19 from the field, decent. 6 for 14 from 3, that'll do. Like that's more than enough. And I'm confident that Vassell, he looked good. 23 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 turnovers, 4 fouls, a bit crazy, but this is the kind of win that you really need as a team. And I'm gonna go back to the chat. I do see Spurs and saying scores table shorted Wemby a block, and yeah, I think they did. We're gonna get into Wemby in just a minute because that was insane. We got more people rolling in here. What a game! Absolutely, this is the type. I see Alan and Cepeda in chat. This is the type of wins playoff teams grind out. Exactly right. You're not always going to be on your best game. But shout out to Mitch Johnson as well, Keenan, I wanted to say too, for calling strategic timeouts throughout this game. I felt like his timeout usage was absolutely perfect. Even calling that double timeout in overtime, just to make sure it didn't end up working, because I don't know what Castle was doing. But still, like, the timeouts he did to stop these runs were great. When you contrast that with Willie Green, in the midst of the Spurs, it took them a 14-0 run for him to call the timeout for the Pelicans, right? And I think Mitch Johnson, he stopped any kind of momentum the Pelicans had whenever they had it, and I really, really liked that. And again, just this game management overall was really on the Spurs side. The refs weren't on our side, our 3-point shooting was not on our side, our free throws were not on our side, our turnovers were not on our side, but we still squeaked it out. So I know it's a kind of running theme, I sort of saying the same thing, but I just wanted to give credit to Mitch Johnson where it's due. I thought he did a great job of managing the rotations and the game tonight.
He was someone I spoke highly on after game 1 too. I like what Mitch Johnson is doing in the situations that he is. He took a little bit of a Gregg Popovich timeout at times. Like Gregg Popovich did not allow runs to really get going. He would call a quick timeout, but he's now in a position where he's comfortable. He knows, oh, no one's not looming over my shoulder in the Gregg Popovich, but he had no idea how quick or when Gregg Popovich was going to be coming back, or if he was going to be coming back last year. He didn't end up coming back last year. He's now officially the head coach. This is his team. He gets to put his system, his roster, all of that together. So now he gets to be comfortable doing exactly what he's doing instead of being thrusted in just November like, hey, something bad happened with Gregg Popovich. You are now the head coach for an unforeseen time. Okay, now we're going to have players in and out of the roster. Now we're going to have a big trade in the middle of all of that. Then we're going to lose our best player. We're going to lose our second best player, and you're going to try to make it all work. So I know there's up and down things with Mitch Johnson as a coach last year, but I do think this year you're seeing why the Spurs feel so highly of him and why he is going to be the right choice for the Spurs moving forward.
Absolutely. We're gonna start getting some polls in the chat. We got 160 people in here. We got to see what you guys have to say about this game, right? Let's just say, what should I even say here? Are you worried about the Spurs shooting. I'm going to put this because I think this is one of the big controversies here. Now, you can take this for three-point shooting, free throws, whatever you want to do. But, you know, we know the shooting has been one of these questions heading into the season. Make sure you vote. We got a lot of you in here. We got to see those results.
Yeah.
I also see a lot of people, Keenan, saying, someone said I'm going to bed 1 a.m. Someone saying 4 a.m. where you are. I think I saw Alex Taylor or something like that in chat saying 4 a.m. Someone else saying 1 a.m. So let me know where you guys are from as well, staying up this late. I'm sure we got some fans in France. We got fans all over the world. We're both on the East Coast. There's people all over, and well, I guess you're not really on the East Coast, but you know, you're on Eastern time, I think. But still,
Yeah.
regardless, yeah, it's insane. But you know what is also insane? I want to get into just Victor Wembanyama. Oh yeah, that guy, this guy right here, this sweater. Link in the description, Die Hard Addicts, 10% off if you use code DIGEST. I keep pumping this because, Keenan, they're so good. But anyway, we're not
really comfortable.
They're really comfy, 100% cotton. With 5 blocks in the first half, Wembanyama has notched 5 or more blocks in a half 12 times. No other player has more than 6 such halves since Wembanyama entered the league. What? What? Ridiculous. Anyway, I got Steph Castle, but French Vanilla working together. The final stats, 29, 11, 9 blocks, should be 10. It should be, fix that NBA. Give him the triple-double. It should be 11, if I'm being honest, Keenan.
It really should be 11, but 10, they only counted him for 1 on the possession where he had 2. Castle came over and contested. He clearly blocked the first shot and then blocked the second one out of bounds. Clear as day. They said, oh, that's only 1. No, it was 2. It was 2.
Oh my God, it was just ridiculous. And look, we got people from all over. We got Portugal, multiple people there from Portugal. Oh wow, shout out to Portugal. And we got UK 4:15 in the morning. Cali, stand up. It's early for you. You're not suffering here where it's up late. Welcome, global fans. Welcome in, everyone. Oh, we got, Keenan, this is what I love to see. We got the fans cart the table saying 155 people, only 34 likes. Hit that like button. Thank you so much. We don't even have to say it, but like we said.
Shout out to Cart the Table because he said that last time when we went live after the first game.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Cart the Table.
Shout out Cart the Table. What a great fan. Look, leave a like and Victor Wembanyama will get credited with his triple-double. The NBA watches Spurs Digest streams. So if you leave a like on the stream, Adam Silver himself is going to give Victor Wembanyama his 10th block. And you don't want to be the one that is causing Wemby not to get that block. So we got to see those like numbers go up. We got Australia, 1:15 p.m. Oh, come on. I mean, it's fine. That's normal. All right. Midday. I shouldn't even try with the accent. But look, here's the thing. Let's just watch some Wemby. I don't know what I'm doing. It's late, Keenan. I get weird when it's late. And guess what? Every Spurs game is going to be late, especially if they keep going to overtime. But Wemby's blocks, that alley-oop was ridiculous. There's a reason we talk about him. There's a reason he's the alien. There's a reason we got French Vanilla and Area 51, both just nicknames of insert player with Victor Wembanyama. Not that Kornet and Harper and Castle aren't good, but still, I want to bring these stats back up. The field goal percentage is one thing. The 9 blocks that should be 10 is another. Keenan, might I just point out, I'm going to send this in the chat. Again, you got to be a channel member to send these emotes, but I'm going to spam the Victor Wembanyama alien. 0. Oh, you were ahead of me. 0 turnovers in the first 2 games. He's averaging 35-13 with 6 blocks and 0 turnovers through his first 2 games. How insane is that? And we got to get the chat to pump that up too. How crazy is 0 turnovers to you?
It's insane because he is handling the ball. It's not like he is just like getting the ball in the post, dribbling here and there. He is bringing the ball up the floor. He is orchestrating offense for himself. He only has 3 assists in the first 2 games. I'm personally fine with that because of the way that he is dominating. I also I know he's only 1 of 5. I love he has only taken 5 threes this year. Because last year there were so many possessions where it was a 3. It was a 3. This year it's been a pump fake to a 2 dribble, spin, and a layup at the basket, or a dunk, or a little fadeaway mid-range shot. We were talking about this all offseason. If you're able to unlock his mid-range game from 18 to 20, it's unblockable, and he has such good touch that he's going to be such a highly efficient player. If Wemby is a 55-plus field goal guy, it's over. Oh, yeah. Put the league on ice.
Yeah.
It's just going to be over.
Yeah, I think already, he would have been last year, I think. I don't know if he would have been if you got rid of his threes, but I said, what if he just gets to 55%? I think I had friends who were like, yeah, maybe. That's a pretty big if, though. It's a pretty big jump. I think, do I have his stat card from last year? Yeah, I do. 47.6% from the field last year, while taking 9 threes a game, shooting 35%. I was saying, 50 to 55% is not out of the realm of possibility, and he is on pace to do way more. And by the way, we got a poll in the chat right now. This is a very important poll. If you answer one poll, it's this one. And I'm going to ask you too, Keenan. What are you more impressed by from Wemby? 9 blocks in tonight's game, or him having 0 turnovers through the first 2 games? Because we know the preseason, that right away, 0 turnovers. That's your answer.
Zero turnovers through 2, because here's the thing. In preseason, we were obviously seeing him play more of a facilitating role, but we saw 7 turnovers. We saw 4. We saw 3. We saw games of high turnover. Wemby getting 9 blocks, as impressive as it is, it's no longer shocking to me. The same way when I see Steph made 10 threes, it's like, oh, wow, that's crazy. But Aaron Gordon making 10 threes is insane. I'm like, my mind is blown. Wemby getting 9 blocks, okay. It's crazy, but it's okay. That's Wemby. Him having 0 turnovers when he has scored 71 points over 2 games, or 69 points over 2 games.
Say the number,
69 points over 2 games. I was doing the math.
No, that's okay.
Crazy. Just crazy, because he is touching the ball every single possession and 0 turnovers. That's insane to me.
Yeah, it actually is. Like, it's on another level. Again, I know we talk about alien stuff, but for the amount the ball's in his hands, to be honest, the ball should be in his hands more. I feel like there were so many possessions tonight where, like, they almost looked him off. And I was like, I know you can't give it to him every possession, but sometimes I wonder why not. I look at the guy who shoots 13 for 23. He could have shot 18 for 30, and like you just would have been like, okay, he had another 40-45 point game. He just would have done it. Like, anyway, it's insane what we're witnessing from him. And Spurs fans saying Wemby's an interstellar star. Never take anything for granted, and I think that's a very good point. Like, it's something I always say. Like, I'm watching these highlights, and I say to any neutral fan or any fan of other teams, like, just watch a bit of a Spurs game, because you will see something you have never seen before. You are watching what very well could be the future greatest of all time in Victor Wembanyama doing some absurd things on the basketball court. And I want to just take a breather when I'm watching him. Like, I laugh. I watch Spurs games and I laugh. When was it, like, I don't think I've ever enjoyed watching a sport. Like, I've loved, oh yeah, Chiron, that's an awesome shot. When I watch Spurs games, I laugh. And that to me is not a brand new emotion, but the fact that it happens every game, because I'm just in awe at what Wemby's doing. I'm like, oh, how did he do that? Like, it's crazy. And so I think it's a great point, Spurs fans, to say never take anything for granted, because what we're witnessing here should be illegal, quite frankly. They might even have to change some rules for him. I don't know what rule they're going to change, but for right now, this dude is doing some stuff that I never thought I would see in my life.
There are players that come into the league where they do things that just Dr. J came in. What Mike? What LeBron? What Steph? What Wemby? What?
Yeah.
Where you have to step back and change your way of viewing. If you guys, obviously everyone was here, wait, you can win a championship by shooting a bunch of threes and pulling up from 35? What? Oh, there is a player who's 6'8", 240 and can jump 45 inches in the air. What? There's a player 7'5" who can do a between the legs step back and hit a 3 in somebody's face.
And one.
What?
Yeah.
Like, you have to change your mind of thinking. It breaks your brain because it's not traditional, but it's amazing. Yeah. So you have to change your brain and your mind for it, and that's what Wemby is going to continue to do and continue to do all season. In every game, you're going to see one thing again that you're like, have I seen that? I don't know.
I don't
you're just going to go crazy.
Like, most times I don't have to question it. I'm just like,
most times you don't, because you are like you're doing laughing. Like, I found myself laughing so many times because I'm like, this isn't real.
No,
this is how I played a Nerf hoop in my room.
I wonder how how these games are even close. I wonder how the Spurs lose games. I wonder with this roster, like with everything that went wrong. Like, Wemby was a -12 tonight. He had one of the worst plus minuses on the team, Keenan. He was second worst to only Keldon Johnson, who had a -13. Those were the 2 guys that fouled out. But Wemby was the guy that, like, kept us in this game so much. I wish they gave him the ball more. You know what? The reason he was -12, like, I don't know. The Pelicans kept throwing stuff at him. Shout out to Vassell, who was plus 22 as well. But I'm just so excited to see what the future looks like. And you know what, Keenan, of 62 people, thank you all for voting. 74% of people said that the 0 turnovers is the more impressive stat, and I have to completely agree. It's been unreal, and I want to shout out the people who've been chatting the most. You can see those little crowns. That's the people who've been most active. Glove saying it's crazy how this would have been a career game by 99% of other players, but this somehow feels like a below average Wemby game. I even said, I think I tweeted during the game, again, follow us on X, tweet a lot of interesting stuff, trying to build up that follower base. You guys are our fans here, true ones. Victor Wembanyama, again, 29, 11, 9, 2, 1 steal, 56% from the field, 0 turnovers in 32 minutes. And I'm just like, man, he didn't really see himself today, Keenan. Like, he didn't get the ball as much as I would have wanted. Like, is that even a fair assessment? Like, I feel like it is. And that's, anyway, it's on that other level of NBA stardom.
It is. He is now officially, it's official. Like, if it wasn't before, I know going into the year, I was like, is he top 5? Is he top 4? He's official. Because it's up there with, if Jokic last night, 21, 13, and 10, it was like, he didn't really look great. 21-point triple-double. Didn't really look great. Shea puts up 32. Okay. Luka puts up a 39 and 10, and you're like, he didn't really seem himself tonight. Wemby, 29-11 with 9 blocks. It was like, okay, he was really playing well defensively, but there's a little bit more there. We felt there's a little more there, which is crazy to think that 29-11 and 9 blocks, that should be a triple-double with at least 10, if not 11, and you can think there was still some meat left on the bone. So, yeah, he is definitely easily cemented in that top 4, top 5 conversation, because when you think great games are average, you're like, oh, okay, you've made it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, we got some people, we got the fans who are rallying. We saw it, like, we see it online, we see it ever rallying behind the Spurs. And we got some people in chat who are heading to these games. I'll be at the Nets game, section 103 Sunday. So stoked. Shout out to you, Tristan. Cart to Table, one of our big supporters there, Cart to Table. Thank you for being here again. I'll be a row below the Jackal section on Sunday. Be ready to bring some earplugs, or not. If you're a real fan, participate. Make the Jackal section even bigger than it already is. That's what's going to get into the Nets' heads. I don't think we need to get in the Nets' heads. Then again, after tonight's game against the Pelicans, really anything is on the table, Keenan. That was a crazy, crazy ending. We got so many people from the UK. This Nets game's at a normal time. Let's go. I don't have to destroy my sleep. Hey, me too. I mean, it's very late for me, but you see here, Spurs, and after experiencing the first 5 championships, this new era is the cherry on top. This is something that I'm very excited for in the future, Keenan. There's so much we could have got to today. I think we'll probably clue it up there. Stephon Castle becoming a star as well. Spurs going on a 14-0 run without Wemby on the floor. There's so many good things from this game, despite it being way too close and despite having those negatives. This is, like we said earlier, the kind of win that playoff teams get, the kind of win that cements your team culture, everyone playing for each other. Even though Castle had a pretty brutal stretch, 9 turnovers, a bunch of clutch turnovers and misses, he still had that incredible shot right here to send us to overtime. Well, thanks to Zion for missing that free throw, by the way. But also, like, the guys played their hearts out around him, got some clutch buckets in overtime. This is the kind of win that, again, just, you feel like you win this game, you can win anything. And I think that does a lot of good for your mental as well. And I can't wait to see how we come out next game firing.
Yes. And shout out to Jellybean Josh, because he said, I can't wait until Fox and Sochan come back. I can't either. Fox would have calmed us down in this game, but it's good that he's not here, because you get those guys like Castle and Harper, Champagne. You get these guys in positions where they might not be if you have other players of that caliber in games. They're going to be needed at some point. You see it now. AJ Mitchell for the Thunder put the 26 in double overtime. You're like, okay, these players are getting run. And when you see it with other teams, you see it with the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs are only going up. We're 2-0. We play Brooklyn next. I can't wait. Yeah. I cannot wait. The San Antonio Spurs have a realistic shot at being 5-0. Brooklyn, we play the Raptors, we play the Heat, and then we play the Suns. We are better than all of those teams. Lakers without Braun, and then the Cup starts. Yeah. We could be 7-0 going into the Cup.
It's possible, but, you know, like, the Heat put up, almost 150 tonight in regulation?
The Heat are going to play, all those teams have played tough. The Raptors upset the Hawks in game 1. The Nets just played the Cavs to a 7-point game. The Suns still have Devin Booker. The Lakers still have Luka Doncic. Every game in the NBA is going to be a game where, on any given night, the team can get hot. They're all one of the best players in the entire world. So.
Yeah. Every team has so much talent. Like, again, even this Pelicans team, it's so easy to underestimate them, but there's so much more. Like, when you get to this level, teams are a lot more than the sum of their parts. Jordan Poole, some of those floaters, some of those threes, he didn't look amazing. He was still very clutch. Trey Murphy, unbelievable. Zion looked dominant, right? Not even just physically, but these little touch jump shots. Like, every team has their guys, and it's going to be a ton of fun this season, but we see 6-0, we're talking 7-0. This team might never lose again. I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up, but it's been incredibly fun. And look,
2-0.
let's go 82-0. Why not break the record? Look, we're going to try and go live after most, if not all, games. We still have videos coming out literally every single day. You know you want to tune in for it. Thank you so much for being here. One final thing from Spurs, and again, channel members get priority and donations, but thank you, Spurs, and looking great to close out games finally. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. I'm excited, Keenan. One last thing. Again, if you want the Spurs to get more wins, leave a like on the stream. Any final thoughts before we head off into the sunset after this brutal, heart attack inducing victory?
As we all are, enjoy what we have while we have it. And Wemby, we appreciate him every day, because you do not want to get to a position where you're like, oh my goodness gracious, we're having to deal with the last few games of this guy. He has so much career ahead of him. Enjoy everything while it is here, so you can tell your grandkids, and your grandkids can tell your grandkids, oh yeah, there was an alien that we saw, the first real alien on a basketball court.
It's unbelievable. It's crazy to be a Spurs fan. It's crazy to have the fans like you guys. Well over 200 people in here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you enjoyed, make sure to put reminders. Turn on that bell, that notification. That's how you'll get here first next time. You'll get your chats in first. Talk to us first. There's so much more coming with Spurs Digest. We got a lot of great stuff coming this season. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host Keenan Warner. Great win. We'll catch you in the next one.